So obviously I'm getting flown over by an airplane right now. And, to anyone watching the video, it sounds like an airplane. To anyone, actually here looking at it, it would look like an airplane. But ever since my awakening in 2012 and my, journey to enlightenment, I've come to the realization and understanding that it ain't an airplane. And I've covered this for, since 2012, and it has connection with the drones because it's the same phenomenon as the drones are. The airplanes flying over, and sometimes they can control their sound. So it's like they can control sound. It's a hologram, so they can project a hologram, but it is advanced technology, and it's actually an anti-gravity craft that's cloaked, that's projecting a hologram. Because I've actually seen it. I've actually seen what it looks like. And this is what people are seeing and identifying as drones. So they're not drones. They're interdimensional craft, because they can actually create portals to in front of them and be anywhere at any time, because they do, like anyone that's a targeted individual or a MyLab or in the secret space program will associate themselves with this phenomenon, because they, as I have just been followed around by black helicopters, all sorts of different craft, every type of craft you can imagine, every different jet, every different helicopter, every different I've even and I'm just explaining the technology because this is important right now, because the whole Project Bluebeam, everything, the whole like reality being revealed is what's happening right now. And I have my piece of the puzzle of it, and it's knowing about this technology, which no one is talking about and has talked about until now, until it's being acknowledged on the news and stuff. And I was waiting for this time, because my whole life I've actually been followed around, but I was only aware since 2012. When I heard a plane following me or in my house, circling my house, and then I went outside and saw it circling me, and then I went over to another place to see if it would follow me, and then it came and circled me over that place. And then ever since then, I had planes flying all around me, black helicopters, all sorts of fighter jets, big cargo transports, everything. And even had which was an unusual experience, because I was in the middle of a forest, like a town called Tenino, Washington, and there's barely any people in the town. It was in the middle of a forest. And when all these things were happening to me, and I was waking up to being part of the TIRAP program, which is the Targeted Individual Research Advanced Program, which I found out from the ACIO, from Peter. Like, a lot of my information comes from the ACIO and what they have, which is the Advanced Contact Intelligence Organization. Because obviously when these things are happening to you, you're searching for answers, like what's going on with this phenomenon. And that's what I did. And then I found out what was behind the phenomenon, the black helicopters, all the different jets, and what was the Goodyear blimp. Because one time I was in the forest, and I was just sitting there in Tenino, and the Goodyear blimp was just sitting there, in the middle of the forest. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, that is the fucking Goodyear blimp. I'm like, that is the Goodyear blimp in Tenino, Washington, just floating around. And I just watched it there, and it just continued to float around for a long time. And that was probably the most, the craziest thing that I saw, that the holographic technology can project. So obviously, they can make anything look real, which is important, because what they're about to, because if there are those things, the drones flying around, and they can project holograms, imagine what they can create. Which actually, a disclosure movie is Spider-Man. I think it's A Way Home, where they have Mysterio, and he has all the drones that are creating like realistic images, and but they have like weapons on them too, so they're able to like make it look like a creature is destroying things, but they're firing weapons, and their holographic images are being projected. And that's a disclosure of that, because even right now there's planes flying over me. There's these, they're flying everywhere, like all the time, but they are projecting as planes, so people think it's just a plane flying by, which actually that's like with all these reports coming in now, which I've heard that they are off the charts now, and then they're trying to say that most of them, to these people, that they're just seeing planes and stuff, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? They're actually seeing, there are a lot of these. There are obviously thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these craft, that are getting ready to do what is going to be referred to as the Great Intimidation. And I through all my work, I've uncovered this about this event. Everybody knows about it too. The fake alien invasion that the elites are planning and stuff like that. It's about to go down, because I've seen it in my dreams, and I know that technology, because in the dreams they project holograms, and it looks like an alien, and actually what I saw was there's a movie called the Final Fantasy movie, and there's these these spectral like octopus, like alien looking things, and that's what I saw in the sky. And then I remember in my dream it was so real, because I am understanding the duality of nature, and so that is allowing me to get more access to the dream world, which is a dimensionless reality, as opposed to this dimensional reality. So you can see in that world in like past, present, future, because there's no dimensions, and you can obviously experience different dimensions of reality. And that's what that world is, which I've been exploring and understanding through like dream cartography, and lucid dreaming, and these are things that the Illuminati definitely acknowledge in all their teachings that they write about, and they obviously say that dreams are actually the most important thing that there is. So I've obviously been integrating my my dream life with my real life, and actually my dream reality is more real than this reality. That's what happens when you go through the initiations and the mystery schools and you learn about the secret, knowledge that it is elite knowledge. That's why they keep it secret. And then you learn about the nature of reality. So, I understand the importance of dreams because, just to give one example, there was one time that I was in another country, and I had a dream that the police approached me and were asking for my identification and stuff. And I thought that was, I had the dream, and I thought that was weird. And then 2 days later, I had an experience where I was I was actually sitting and drinking a beer in a parking lot, and I was just in a corner, and the police actually came, and they came, and I was able to put away my beer and stuff, and then they told me I couldn't just be sitting in the parking lot there, and then I left. But so that was an experience of seeing into the future, which I've had so many experiences of, which is the precognitive, psychic part of reality, which science doesn't acknowledge the world, because this is all part of the paradigm. This is all part of why things are messed up, is because science is one of the main accepted paradigms, but that actually doesn't explain the whole nature of reality, because they use mathematics to explain things, but actually mathematics is, through mathematical idealism, that is actually what the universe is made of. And once science is able to accept that, they will be able to then learn about the mind. And that's obviously the next step, because science, if you've had an out-of-body experience, if you've had a dream, you have refuted scientific materialism. That's actually what the Illuminati say. Because, you do go to another place, that is not material. It's immaterial. It's dimensionless. It's outside of time and space. This realm is dimensional. It is material. It's within space and time. And these two realms are actually the two different realms that there are, that the Illuminati explain in their cosmology, which does explain the two realms, which the symbol of the double-headed eagle symbolizes. The master of two worlds. You spiritual reality and physical reality, which science just ignores the spiritual completely. So that's that. As time gets on, though, there are different things that are going to be questioned, and then there are going to be synthesis, anti-synthesis, and then the thesis, or the thesis, anti-thesis, and then the synthesis is what's going to happen from all of these different paradigms being questioned right now, like science, because science does not actually explain the nature of reality, and then religion is being questioned right now too, and being kind of put in the spotlight, and you know, because I can actually like give an illuminatist outlook on each one of these perspectives, because I've been an illuminatist since 2016, and you know, I can explain how that happened too in my life, because that is the most important thing to talk about, is how I became an illuminatist, which actually I should write a book about that. I'm gonna write a book about that because it did like, my search for God led me to being an illuminatist, and finding the Illuminati and finding the enlightened ones was what allowed me to find them and then become an illuminatist, was my search for God. And you know, in the beginning of my life, when I was born, my grandmother told me, you know, she's like, you know, Anthony, you are God. You're God, is what she told me. And you know, of course, in this world, people would say that she was crazy, or the world, society would say that it was crazy because of millennia of dogmatism. You know, which is what which is what's going on today, because like 4 billion, 5 billion people subscribe to the Abrahamic religions, and then you know, there are other people that subscribe to other religions too. But you know, Illumination is definitely the 0.1% of all that, which it needs to not be, because all paths actually do lead to illumination. That's what I have come to discover as well, because each religion does think that they're the truth. That's what the religions are set up for. Part of becoming one of the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, the first degree is all about the deconstruction of all the religions. So you study all the religions, and then you deconstruct them, and then you see how they were made up, and then you make up your own mythos religion, just to show that you can do it. And then when you do that, because in the enlightened ones' work, they actually do that in their 270 books that they wrote, and all of their like Patreons that they come out, that's what they do, is they go analyze every religion, deconstruct every religion. Same with political systems, psychological, philosophical, scientific. They analyze. They're the only ones that I have seen that have analyzed everything and deconstructed everything, and then provided illumination in all of their place, like, which is the grand unified theory of everything, is illumination and illuminism, because it does unify them all. And it's obviously, once you find out about this, like, it becomes the most important thing, because you see, your eye is open, and you understand, you see, all the answers, all the questions are answered, and there's no argument once you know, your eye has been open and you've been illuminated. And the core premise of illumination, which is the supreme form of Gnosticism, is that it is possible and not only possible, but it is inevitable. It is inevitable that every soul will become God through the process of life, of experience, of reincarnation, um, and to each to the universe's omega point, which is the attainment of its divinity, which the universe, the Illuminati also explain how what the universe is. You know, because people are like, what is the universe is the question. Like, what is the purpose, right? And, you know, the Bible actually doesn't explain any of that. Quran, Torah doesn't actually explain that. Like, so those books, you know, that were written 2,000 years ago, you know, are like, they are old dusty holy books that people are holding on to explain the nature of reality, because religion is one way to explain the nature of reality. So is science. So is you know, philosophy. So each one of these paradigms are ways to explain the nature of reality, which people subscribe to. With religion, you know, like the answer to how the nature of reality and the purpose of existence and everything, it's not just like God. You know, it's there's a purpose, you know, and obviously it is to reach our maximum actualization and potential. That's what each individual soul, and which are called monads, which are minds, because in explaining what the universe is, because the Illuminati have done that, because they wrote books all about explaining what the universe is, and the geniuses that did that, like Gottfried Leibniz and Hegel and you know, Goethe and Faust and you know, Heraclitus, Empedocles, Simon Magus, King Solomon, Mozart. You know, Socrates was in the Illuminati, but he actually got kicked out because he told the secrets and stuff. But Plato was one too. There, you know, I've been learning who the enlightened ones were through finding the work that they've come out with, because they are the most ancient secret society that there is, whose knowledge spans back to 561 BCE, which is obviously before Christianity, and they have actually maintained their knowledge throughout time, actually adding on to it throughout time, and then coming out with their work now, which predates Christianity and in all the other religions too. So that's why it's important to consider the Armageddon conspiracy and all the work that the Illuminati, the Pythagorean Illuminati, have done. Because they've been, you know, their work has been banned by the Vatican, and is banned by Amazon too, because the powers that be do not want this work to be found out about. That's why my life's mission is about preserving this work, which I've written 8 books now about it. I'm studying every day to be able to get this out and preserve it, because when it comes down to everything breaking down and being questioned and being argued over, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the truth? Who has the truth? You know, because there's going to be a time where people have had enough, and the truth is what's going to be demanded by everyone. And you know, I understand that the Templars and, you know, people of that know this knowledge have been getting prepared to guide people to the truth, you know, to the kingdom of heaven, which actually, you know, there's a little metaphorical symbolism in the Templars, because they were the ones that protected the pilgrims to get to the Holy Land, and that's what we're still doing. You know, because the Templars were Gnostic as well. So, you know, I wish, you know, I wish this could be seen by, you know, 10,000 people, like 20,000 people, like the rest of all the, you know, I wish I could go on Joe Rogan and speak about the Illuminati and Illumination, because I know that is what everybody's been looking for. The secret society that holds the truth, like the Grail, like that is, which is a knowledge accelerator. And the Illuminati, once you read their writings, you can tell that they are so far beyond what is still going on here, that you will be like, okay, I'm reading the writing of an advanced civilization, an advanced society that exists, because the books that they wrote are the proof. And I won't stop until the whole world knows about these books. And actually, the Illuminati say, I mean, because the work that they wrote, it's like it is the greatest gift to humanity ever, because they answer all the questions like that could ever be asked, and scientifically, reasonably, and logically explain everything in the books. And if anyone has gone through my work, like all the different things I've talked about, you can definitely tell the scope and the range of the different things that they cover, which is actually absolutely incredible. And that's why they say their work will be studied in universities in the future. Because if the world knew this work, we would have a Star Trek civilization. That's how important it is. But you know, just to get back on religion, though, because that's what I really began this about, was religion, because everything's getting questioned these days. Like questions, like you know, philosophy is definitely good, though, like to have, because it gets you somewhere. Like, because the Illuminati wrote different books, though, because what they're doing is they're deconstructing everybody's religions, worldviews, everything, just so they can be able to get the truth into you. Because that's what needs to happen first, is there needs to be the deconstruction of things. And the Illuminati actually wrote books about Jordan Peterson, you know, because he has his worldview, and it is a Christian worldview. It's based on Christianity, you know, which, you know, you can go into all that with the studying of, you know, the archetype of Christ, and he uses symbolism a lot in explaining, because you can get somewhere with all that. You can get somewhere with all that, which all paths lead, you know, to illumination. But they also go over like Sam Harris, you know, they have a whole book about Sam Harris, because he is a philosopher right now that's coming out that, you know, has actually had debates with Jordan Peterson, you know, and you know, he is questioning Jordan Peterson, because you know, if you watch those debates, he's questioning Christianity, because Sam Harris is a sophist, which would be, you know, an atheist, fall underneath an atheist too, and these are the big things that are being talked about right now, is the existence of God and the morality of God and stuff like that. So on the stage, you know, on the Jordan Peterson stage, you know, I call them the three kings, because I'm writing a book right now called The Three Kings because I'm using the Illuminati's work about their deconstruction of or their analyzation and of all three of these, which is people's worldviews, which is Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, who is a sophist, a philosopher sophist, atheist, and Richard Dawkins, who is a atheist as well. And obviously it's all about believing in God, like or knowing God. But the Illuminati's take on God is that the God of the Bible is evil. The Demiurge, the three books are Abrahamism. The religions of the book are Abrahamism. Those are books of the Demiurge, and they're evil books that keep people locked in a perpetual cycle, forever, as long as they're wed to those books. And just like about Abrahamism, about Abraham hearing a voice in his head telling him to kill his son's throat, or slit his son's throat, and then God coming through and saving him, and and blessing him and stuff like that. Like, if you look at that from a logical standpoint of view, basically he did hear a voice in his head tell him to kill his son, and then he's like, no, I won't do that. And that's still fucking crazy, because it is psychopathic and stuff. Like, to kill your son or like anyone. If I ask any Christian, if you heard a voice in your head telling you to kill if God told you to kill your son or daughter, would you do it? Like, I asked a Christian that, and they actually said no. So they were definitely they weren't questioning what was going on with the Abrahamic faiths. So that's just one other topic to get into, but the morality of God there, comes into question. And then him, exterminating the whole world in the flood, condemning all of humanity to hell, for the sins that Adam and Eve committed of eating the fruit of the tree, which he put there and then tempted them with, and then said, if you eat of it, you will surely die. And then when Eve actually did eat of it, she didn't die. Her eyes were open though. Like, so it's like, who lied there? Did the serpent lie, or did God lie? Because it seemed like God lied. You know what I'm saying? God lied, and the serpent told the truth though. So it's like, this is actually the Gnostic perspective, because I am Gnostic, I am an Illuminatist, so I'm telling it from the other side. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling it from the side that is not accepted, and this is the other side, but it's like, once you hear the other side, you're like, dang, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes more sense than what I'm hearing, because the serpent did tell Eve that if you ate of it, you'll become like God and your eyes will be open. So they were like, okay, we want to, become like God, because but that's the greatest sin, right? That's the greatest sin. And there's a reason why they call that the greatest sin, because they don't want you to become like God. And when I say they, I mean the elites, the people that are ruling this world, that are keeping everyone underneath control, that use the religions for control. They don't want people to become like God, and that's actually what Illumination is. It's the religion of becoming God. That's actually old, ancient, the most ancient religion that there is. And it's been hidden and secret and stuff for ages and stuff. And yes, it is what the elites know about, but they misuse it. Obviously, they misuse it, that knowledge and information, because they know the truth. But there are other people that know the truth too, which are the enlightened ones, which we are definitely standing up against all of the oppressive systems that hold this world in thrall, in a perpetual loop, like, which is the religious system, the scientific system, economic systems, which are free markets. That's why the Illuminati are all about a new world order, just something completely new, which that's what this world needs more than anything in the world, because the system that we are underneath now is enslaving the world and keeping the world in tyranny, and education and actual knowledge is being held back from humanity in this system. So it needs a new world order is what needs to happen, and the elite were actually able to take the Illuminati and the New World Order and make it into something bad, which is part of the conspiracy, because you can get taken off the path, you know what I'm saying, because you think the New World Order is, the whole elite globalization thing, the billionaires, millionaires, politicians, deep state, all that stuff is part of the New World Order, but that's actually the old world order, and then that actually veers you off the real actual grail quest and path to the actual enlightened ones, who are the holders of the keys to the new world order, which is going to actually inevitably happen through the dialectical evolution of the universe, which the elite can't stop from happening. That's the thing that they can't stop, is the attainment of the humanity's attainment of its divinity that we are going to reclaim. Because if I said this in front of a Muslim, Christian, or Jew, I would be blasphemy right now. They would be like, "You think you're God? Like, you think you're becoming God? You think you're divine?" It's like, yes. That is what we are, though. And then if you fall underneath a God that you're subserving to, that you have to submit to, like Wes Huff said in his little thing with Patrick Bet David, I submit to Jesus Christ. Like, Islam is a thing of submission. Judaism, they're all submission religions. And people, when you're awakened and enlightened, you come to realization of that you're submitting to a God. You're submitting to them. That is not what you want to be fucking doing. And it's really time for America to wake up from that, because Christianity is the main religion that is, as long as we're submitting, we're gonna be controlled. And that's what all the elites, they think that we need to be controlled like this. And obviously they got us into thinking that we need to be controlled like this too, which this isn't. They're holding everything back. Like, we shouldn't be living in houses with toilets, and like we should be advanced right now. This is the message of the Illuminati and the gospel of the Illuminati. And you can check it out on the ArmageddonConspiracy.uk. And then we need to start forming groups, grassroots movements and stuff, and talking about the truth, like, which the Illuminati have. Talk about all the books in them, like they have, and get to cracking, like get to instilling new systems of governance, like meritocracy, and where actually people have an equal chance to get to places in the world. Like, everybody starts out from the same starting line in a meritocracy. You know what I'm saying? And not instead of being born into a world where the 1% and stuff have everything, and then you're born into a world where you're way back at the starting line and they're already at the finish. And there actually is no hope for you, because the game is rigged and stuff like that. And the 1% own everything, so you're never going to get there unless you're one of them. And that's the world we live in. And the governments and the religions and the fucking economic systems are what are tied together that keep us in this perpetual enslavement system, which has been going through for millennium, which actually the time of Rome, because the Illuminati wrote in Hollywood Patient Zero, which is part of their Patreon. They obviously do the comparison of Rome with America nowadays, and America being the new Rome. And the same thing's happening. It's like the patrician class is getting are in charge of the plebeians. Democracy is very clearly corrupted, because even now, after an 84-year-old president with dementia and stuff like that, is being replaced by a rich oligarchic plutocrat, which has ties in with the corporatocracy, like Elon Musk and Bezos and fucking Zuckerberg, because they showed up at his thing. So that's part of the corporatocracy, oligarchy, plutocracy, which actually does not have the people's best interests at heart. They have their own interests at heart, and it's sad, but it's true. And I'm not saying that Trump is doing bad things. He's doing good things, changing things and stuff, but there are better people that are suited for the position. People that, then that's what a meritocracy is all about, is the best people being in the best position, and the people voting actually being eligible and required to vote, having knowledge in that area to vote for the people too, is what a meritocracy is. And this takes away privilege and nepotism and cronyism and all this stuff, and replaces it with merit. So everyone needs to just have a meritocracy. The world needs to be a meritocracy. And then, borders would be eliminated and stuff like that. But then we could have a Star Trek society, and that would actually be a good thing, because the borders are what keeps the wars going. So the elite have been able to flip everything around and make everything that's good seem bad. To be able to keep ideas out of people's heads, because there is one thing stronger than all the armies of the world, and that is an idea whose time has come. And that was Victor Hugo who said that, in The Future of Man. And this idea is illumination, and it is illuminism, and it is what's been kept secret and kept throughout the ages. The Inquisitions just killing everybody to keep the Gnostic truth at bay, which is still happening today. And the big thing going on right now is because Westhuff got popular from his debate with Billy Carson, and just because Billy Carson made a mistake and didn't have the correct, his sources were his sources were deemed to be made up or whatever. They were deemed to be forgeries and stuff, which is valid by a scholar and stuff. There are forgeries. If they're forgeries, they're forgeries. It doesn't mean you can still learn something from them. And part of getting to the truth is not being parochial. It's taking in all of everything. But Westhuff definitely got famous. A biblical Christian apologist got famous, and with what his debate with Billy Carson, because he is a biblical scholar, because he is an apologist. And what apologists are they? The Bible is the truth, the inerrant, ineffable truth. That is what they go to through everything they say, everything's true because the Bible says it's true. Is there logic? Is there circular logic? It's actually called circular logic, which is one of their downfalls. Which I all learned this through the lens of Illumination. I wouldn't have known all this unless I was an Illuminatist. So I'm able to deconstruct apologetics, which I'm doing right now in a book because I thought it was necessary, because I saw the attention that he's getting. I will give it to him. All the work he's done and stuff in his work scholarship of the Bible, which is very important work, no doubt about that. But like there's other scholarship too, and like once people see that Jesus is not coming, Yeshua ben Joseph, because that's what I would like to have another name with, a talk with Wesley Huff too, is because his name was not Jesus Christ. It's Yeshua ben Joseph, and he's Jewish, part of a actual Jewish elite family. And because I wrote a whole book called The Hidden Truth of Jesus Christ, just to clear that up too, from what I learned from the Illuminati, the enlightened ones. And like once you find this out, you're like, God damn! You're like, people have got to know this, because you see where people are being misled, and then either I'm misled or they're misled, and that's what everybody is arguing over right now. But I guess we'll see, right, when Jesus comes back, right? We'll see when Jesus comes back. That's going to be the answer that the Christians are looking for, which that is not happening. Jesus is not coming back. God, like Yeshua ben Yosef, is not coming back. Like you can say, like the cosmic Christ, the Gnostic Christ, yes, coming back into everyone's hearts and souls. The image that was created, the great, like. But we also have to get off of, the perfect example of God being Jesus too, because who's to say that's actually the perfect example, So that's my question. And in order to get the truth, take the blue pill, red pill. You have to question authority, and who is the greatest authority to question? It's God. And ever since I started doing that, my eyes were open to the truth, and I'm going to be a defender of the truth, and I am going to be a defender of it. But in being a defender, I'm also going to go on the offense as well. And I think all the Christians, I think all the atheists, I think all the sophist philosophers, I think all the Hindus, I think all the Jews, the Muslims, the Buddhists, like I think all of them, because the truth is we are one, we all are one, and once the world has come to illumination, like we can move to the next phase. And my mission and job here is to be a forerunner of illumination, a vanguard of illumination, a prophet of illumination, and to just be able to bring this to people. So the illumination happens in the heart, and there's a breath of fresh air, because you can. It's all about liberation and freedom, from chains and oppression and tyranny and enslavement. So, and it is a never-ending story. Eternal life is a never-ending story, and yeah, that's I guess that's it for now. But what else is important is just knowing how divine you are, because your thoughts are coming. Your thoughts are coming from somewhere. And this somewhere is actually from a place outside of time and space, in a dimensionless singularity, and it is God. It made up in what is known as the monad. And I'm going to stop right there, but just remember that the universe does have your back, and that life goes on. Till next time.